The airport was loud, but the slap was louder. It cracked through Terminal C like lightning, sharp, ugly, and impossible to ignore. Dozens of passengers froze. A child dropped his toy. A businessman stopped mid-phone call. And in the center of it all stood a quiet black woman named Maya Thompson, her cheek burning red, her eyes wide with disbelief. She hadn't yelled. She hadn't pushed anyone. She hadn't even raised her voice. All she had done was say softly, "Sir, I think my ticket printed incorrectly." But the airport agent, Carl Jennings, a frustrated, arrogant man who had already shouted at 4 passengers that morning, exploded. "Are you blind?" he yelled. Then the slap came. Sudden, cruel, and absolutely unprovoked. For a moment, Maya didn't move. She simply breathed in, steady and calm. As the entire hall waited to see what she would do, some expected her to scream. Some expected her to break down. But what she did, no one saw coming. Instead of reacting with fear, instead of arguing, she pulled out her phone. One call. Just one. And when she spoke, her voice was still soft. But this time, it carried power. Activate protocol. I'm at Northgate International. Terminal C. Those few words made the color drain from Carl's face, though he had no idea who she was. But soon he would. Within 15 minutes, the entire airport would know. Within 1 hour, the airline would regret everything. And within 24 hours, the airline would no longer exist. All because of the woman they thought was powerless, Maya. Thompson was not famous online. She wasn't wealthy, at least not in the way people expected. She wasn't loud, aggressive, or confrontational. She was a schoolteacher. "Would you like to file immediate charges? HQ is ready for your instructions." Passengers murmured. "Who is she? What's happening? Why are federal suits here?" Carl stiffened. "Hey, what's going on?" "I didn't do anything serious. She misunderstood." One of the suits turned to him. "Mr. Jennings, your entire interaction was caught on airport CCTV. You struck a passenger without cause. You verbally abused at least 9 individuals in the last hour. This is not just misconduct, it's assault." Carl's knees wobbled. But she's just a teacher. How is she making all this happen?" Another officer replied quietly. "She's not just anything." Then it happened. The CEO of the entire airline chain called Maya directly. The phone rang in her hand. She answered calmly. "Ms. Thompson? We are so deeply sorry." Maya interrupted gently. "You allowed a culture of abuse. Your staff humiliated countless passengers. This isn't the first complaint about your employee. It's not even the 10th. Please, we will compensate." "This is not about money," she said softly. "It's about accountability." The CEO swallowed. What do you want done?" Maya looked around at the passengers who had been insulted earlier. Elderly people, mothers, students. Then she spoke 3 words that sealed the airline's fate forever. "Terminate the license." Nobody in the terminal understood what she meant. Not at first. But by evening, every news channel did. Because Maya's single call had activated something the public rarely sees. The Emergency Compliance Review Board, a high-level oversight body, capable of shutting down corporations that fail to meet federal conduct and safety laws. The airline had been warned before, multiple times, but Maya's case was the final strike. By nightfall, all flights under the airline were grounded. Government officials were reviewing misconduct files. Stock value began to collapse. Executives were resigning. Lawsuits flooded in. Carl Jennings was immediately arrested. Not fired, arrested. Passengers who had suffered his abuse came forward. Videos went viral. Public outrage exploded. And at the center of it all was Maya, not seeking fame, not seeking revenge, only justice. When reporters reached her, she said simply, "Respect is a right, not a reward." Her words became a national headline. Parents used her story to teach their children courage. Women shared their own experiences of humiliation at airports. Offices, restaurants, teachers across the country praised her strength. But Maya wasn't done. She used her influence not to destroy, but to rebuild. She required, that the replacement airline follow strict new policies. Zero tolerance for abusive staff, mandatory empathy training, anonymous passenger complaint systems, surveillance oversight for misconduct, Free travel vouchers for affected passengers for the first time in decades. The industry changed. The bell rang. Students packed their bags. Life returned to normal, almost. That afternoon, Maya placed a photo of her father on her desk. "Dad," she whispered, "I finally used the power you trusted me with. Not to hurt, but to heal." A soft breeze blew through the window, almost like an answer. She closed the photo frame gently. The world had changed. An abusive airline had fallen. Millions had seen her stand up for herself. But Maya didn't see herself as a hero. She was simply a teacher who refused to accept injustice, who believed in fairness, who believed in human dignity. And with one phone call, she reminded the world of a powerful truth. Never underestimate a quiet woman. She might be the storm you never saw coming,